What's up, everybody? It's Jordan, and welcome to the Sports Behind Show. In this video, I'm going to be doing my power rankings of the AFC South. The AFC South consists of the Titans, Colts, Jaguars, and Texans. Let's go ahead and get started here. Number 4 on this, AFC South power rankings is the Houston Texans. Houston was 4-13 last season, and they had a pretty nice offseason, especially draft when you look at it. They drafted Derek Stingley Jr., Kenyon Green, Jalen Petrie, John Mechie, Damian Pierce. I mean, that right there, that's 5 starters that they drafted. They also signed Marlon Mack as well. They traded Deshaun Watson to the Cleveland Browns, which I feel like that was great for them. They got tons of draft capital, and so they don't really have to deal with Watson and everything like that now. But when you look at the Texans, Davis Mills was a very underrated quarterback this past season. I'm interested to see how the Texans perform this year. They bring in a new head coach. They bring in Lovie Smith. Obviously he had success with the Bears, but as of right now, there's nothing that I can really see that the Texans aren't the worst team in the AFC South. Number 3, as we continue here, is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Last year, the Jaguars were 3-14. They signed a couple of nice players. They signed Evan Ingram, Zay Jones, and Christian Kirk. They also signed Brandon Sheriff, the guard from Washington, one of the better guards in the NFL. And they also signed Alukon, I think I pronounced that name wrong, a linebacker. Last year, he led the NFL with 192 tackles. And I know people are going to talk bad about the Jaguars. They overpaid Ingram. They overpaid, Christian Kirk. I don't disagree, but the Jaguars, it's one of those deals, like when you're a small market team who has not had a lot of success, you have to overpay some of these players. And that's, what they had to do to get these, guys like Christian Kirk in. But when you have success and you start building up your team, people will, start signing with you for less money because they want to win a championship. But, they also drafted Trayvon Walker with the first pick overall, Devin Lloyd, and Chad Muma. They bring in Doug Peterson, head coach who used to be for Philadelphia. He won a Super Bowl with the Eagles not too long ago. I'm interested to see how he and Trevor Lawrence will go. I think he will, really be well for Trevor Lawrence's development. But the Jaguars, to me, I feel like are definitely the 3rd best team. The Texans are the 4th best team in the AFC South. And number 1 and 2 are definitely debatable here in the AFC South. I'm going to have the Tennessee Titans number 2. I know lots of people, especially Titans fans, won't like that. The Titans last season were 12-5 and were number 1 seed in the AFC. They lost to Cincinnati in the divisional round, 19-16. Obviously, they lost A.J. Brown to the trade with Philadelphia. They added Treylon Burks, the wide receiver from Arkansas. They signed Austin Hooper. And they traded for Robert Woods. And that Robert Woods trade, to me, I feel like is definitely one of the most underrated offseason acquisitions of any team. Like Robert Woods, lots of people don't really talk about it because, he got hurt. But before he got injured, he wasn't on pace to have, a career year. And then, part of the reason why Cooper Kupp was able to manage so many yards last year with the Rams was because Robert Woods' absence, they had to throw the ball to Kupp. But Robert Woods is definitely one of the more underrated receivers in the NFL. And I feel like, giving Tannehill a guy like Robert Woods is great. And even a guy like Malik Willis, drafted him, the quarterback from Liberty. I feel like Robert Woods is a really nice wide receiver to pair with either one of those quarterbacks and gives you just more weapons for the Titans. Obviously the Titans, with Derrick Henry, he only played 8 games last year. But he had over 900 rushing yards and 10 touchdowns. I mean, only playing 8 games and they still managed to go 12-5. I just kind of feel like the Titans are going to have a little bit of a letdown season. I still definitely think they're playoff contenders. And I would not be shocked at all if they won an AFC South. But I think Tannehill is going to decline again this season. That's going to kind of play in a factor why I think the Titans will be the 2nd best team in the AFC South. And obviously, with the Titans being the 2nd team, the Colts the 1st team. The Colts were 9-8 last season. They traded for Ndakwe, and he had 10 sacks last season, really helping the defense there. They traded a 3rd-round pick for Matt Ryan, and it's crazy to think that Matt Ryan is not on the Falcons. He's one of those players you always thought was going to play for the same team. Matt Ryan is not what he used to be at all. Like, this might be Ryan's last season in the NFL, but I still think he's the best quarterback Indianapolis has had since Andrew Luck. And I think that's going to, do wonders for this team. And I think that's part of the reason why I think they're going to win the AFC South. They also signed Stephon Gilmore He's not what he used to be, but he's still a pretty good corner, having 9 interceptions the last 3 years. Jonathan Taylor last season was absolutely sensational. Over 2,000 total yards and 20 touchdowns last year. It's crazy because, Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry are two of the best running backs in the NFL, and they're in the same division. Like I said, 1 and 2 are definitely debatable for me, and I feel like most people will probably agree. But my AFC South rankings, number 4 is the Houston Texans, 3 is the Jacksonville Jaguars, 2 is the Tennessee Titans, and number 1 is the Indianapolis Colts. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you all next time on the Sports Dude Hines Show.